All right, we are live. All right. Peace and love, family. What's going on? It is your boy Mario Quinn, and we are here with yet another episode of the Level Up Podcast, family. This is episode 112, and I must say, I'm super excited. I know we've been gone for a few weeks and stuff like that. I had to take a little bit of a break just to get my mental together, but we are back on this beautiful Monday. It was a cold one, fam, but I hope everyone had a productive Monday today, and you did something towards your goals, whatever those are. But I'm really excited about our special guest that we got on the episode today. We got my man Terrek and my man Meleak Potter. How you feeling, brothers?
We good. Glad to be here.
Yes,
glad to be here.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, for taking the time to join me today. Again, I apologize about last week. I was feeling a little under the weather, so I'm like, you know what? Let's reschedule. Now we here. We're gonna make it rock. You know what I'm saying? Well, for the folks who might be watching or listening to this podcast who may not know anything about you guys, this is my first time officially meeting you and everything like that. If you could just let them know what it is that you do, your story, not too much, just, what you do, who you are, where you from, all that good stuff.
Kick it off, brother.
Yeah.
Kick it off.
Yes, sir.
Well, my name's Meleak Potter. I'm born and raised in Pittsburgh. I lived in South Carolina for a few years, but my main career is real estate.
Okay.
I invest in real estate. I own a title company, which we do deed transfers and we make sure property is free and clear when you're buying it. And I also am the founder of Realty Thinking, which is a nonprofit where we're using real estate education to bring financial literacy and economic wealth to these marginalized communities of Pittsburgh, because we got so many of them.
Yes,
Love
sir.
it.
Yes,
Love
sir.
it. We need a couple slow snaps for that. That's dope.
And I'm Terrek Ray. I'm actually same thing, born and raised from Pittsburgh.
Okay.
What I specialize in is life insurance.
Okay.
That's my mission, is to try to make sure that we can get a lot of our youth onto the fact of GoFundMe ain't cool. That's pretty much the biggest statement I want to get out to people. Besides that, showing the wealth that comes from it, and also residual. So I will be able to talk about that, of course, later on.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm into. Besides that, I also help out with solar. So I help people with pretty much getting rid of that light bill, putting solar panels on the homes.
That's dope.
And I'm also a director of his nonprofit as a neighborhood innovative technology. So I help out in that situation there.
Okay.
Yes,
I keep up with the times.
Yes,
Love it.
They out here toothpaste printing houses now. I don't know if y'all saw that.
Toothpaste
It looks
printing?
like a cement toothpaste.
Cement
And
toothpaste.
it's just printing out houses. You just keep going in layers with cement.
Like a 3D printer,
That's
kind of.
exactly what it is.
That's
It's a
crazy.
3D printer and
For
they're building
houses?
Yes.
Okay.
Listen, I'm gonna try and bring it to y'all, Pittsburgh.
This is
I'm working on it.
insane.
Yeah.
Well,
sure.
I want to say first and foremost, just want to commend you both for really having a dope career journeys. Like, you're doing something that I personally feel is really important, and it's definitely good work. You know what I'm saying? And in terms of like, our people, it's like we don't have a lot of education in those areas. We don't understand those type of businesses and things like that can really help us in terms of creating wealth and financial freedom for ourselves. So I think it's really dope what you're doing. Can you talk a little bit, obviously, you don't become a business person overnight, right? There's a journey to it. There's something that sparks in your head where you're like, you know what, I want to give this a try. Can you talk a little bit about like when was that moment for you? And you can start.
Yeah, man. Whew. This goes back, man. My little sister can contest to this.
Okay.
We actually had convenience stores in Homewood. So that's where it started off with me at. I had 2 convenience stores with my family. We had Sugar Rays and M&B's.
Okay.
A lot of people from that area definitely know me from that.
Oh.
That started the sales spark that I pretty much longed for.
Okay.
What made me really kind of fascinated with it was you honestly get paid for what you're worth. That's how I feel.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys ever seen that picture. It popped up on Instagram a while ago, and it was a guy holding like about $2 fat bills. And he said, man, 60 minutes just for this. And it spoke to me.
That's different.
It spoke to me a little bit, because it's like
$10
the $10 an hour, you know what I mean? Like, that's what you feel like you're worth.
Right.
And I know I'm worth more than that.
Right.
So I look at it more so like I bet on myself.
Right.
You know what I mean? Instead of that 9 to 5. And it's a security thing for people. I'm not telling you not to do it, but I bet on myself.
Right.
So yeah, that's kind of where my sales experience came from. From that point on, I fell in love with it, and just anything that was a commission type of job, I stuck in it. Yeah, that's pretty much it for sure.
Now, did you have because I've done door-to-door sales.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Vacuum cleaners, you name it, bro. All the stuff, and I'm like, bro, I ain't getting no money. Like, what did you like? Where was your mind to keep you in something like that? Outside of like, I just, I want to, show my worth and stuff like that. Like,
right.
Where else was your mind?
Helping people.
Right.
The ability to be able to actually help someone that might not even know they might have needed the help. So a lot of the things that I did, I made sure that with my jobs, I felt like I wanted to feel like it was worth it. You know what I mean? No discredit to this selling sweepers, but you know what I mean? I wanted to feel a little bit more impactful. You know what I mean? So I looked at different things that can actually help you out. So I started out with the store with my family. Then it progressed to entertainment books. I did that to like door to doors to small businesses to help you give incentives to your employees and things like that. Then it moved on to actually energy. I helped out with people with making sure we can save money in the home as far as light bills, gas bills, things like that. And then I kind of went back to my first love, which was food. I love food. Yeah, for sure. I was a general manager at 3 restaurants in Pittsburgh.
Shit. Damn.
So yeah, I liked it for sure, man.
That's so dope. It's like people who I've come to learn. People who are like have that entrepreneurial spirit, they got mad experience and mad shit.
Yeah,
we like it's like we love trying shit out just to see.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But no, what about you, Meleak?
Yeah. Honestly, I come from business families. We my grandfather was the owner of something called Sanjoy Trucking. One of the first black trucking companies in Pittsburgh, let alone Western Pennsylvania. They helped build the reservoir, Mellon Arena, stuff like that. Yeah.
Damn.
So
history.
Right. And then that trickles down to my uncle, actually, Chuck Sanders. So Young Savoy and Urban Settlement Services. So it's a family thing.
There you go.
And then my mom, she's been in real estate my whole life. I've grown up in it. I actually hated it growing up. I'm like, I'm that kid in the backseat while we showing houses. And I'm like, why am I here right now? But she showed me the way.
Right.
But it started young with me. I was in middle school, and in middle school, I was in there. My dad had come home, right, and he used to sell different things, and he was working on art and doing Air Forces and stuff. And he had this bag of sunglasses, and I'm like, what you doing with those? I was in 7th grade, I think. I was at Frick in Oakland, and I took that bag of sunglasses to school and made like $80 before the principal pulled me aside. Meleak, what you doing?
Wow.
This ain't no
I would have
story.
like, you don't want a pair?
Right. Look, what you which one? Look, what you like?
That's hilarious.
But so I always, even down to the fruities, the Pop Tarts in the morning, you get there early enough, you make a little dollar. But that's always been my spirit through my family. We're entrepreneurs, and I've been raised in that, But I always tell people I try to take my silver spoon and I want to feed other people.
Right.
Who says it only feeds one mouth?
Right.
There's a lot of people out here who need knowledge I have, experience I have through my privilege. And, that's where we got to set ourselves aside and say, okay, let me give back.
Yep.
I love that. I mean, especially in terms of knowledge and thinking of experience. It's like, for me coming up, it's like I did so many jobs, and even when I didn't want to, but I did it because I knew there was something I can learn in it that I can apply to my dream, right? Or to my business and stuff like that. And so I made sure that every, experience that I had, that I grabbed and absorbed as much knowledge as possible. You know what I mean? And I think that's really, really important. But in thinking about what you guys do, there's not a lot of knowledge, right? And that's something that you guys, strive to do is help people and give people the tools that they need to understand, how to make moves in these arenas. Can you talk a little bit about some of that missing knowledge? What are some things that you've seen just in doing your work that people are common misconceptions that people don't really know about life insurance, about real estate?
Oh yeah. One of the biggest ones, and I can even actually go off of a personal experience. A lot of people think life insurance is just for death. I remember when I was a younger, and I was out here, somebody asked me about life insurance, and I'm like, for what? I'm not about to die. Yeah, right. I'm not about to die. But
I love it.
But I failed to realize that it was bigger than that.
Right.
Way much bigger than that. life insurance is one of the entities that is untaxed by the government. The government can't touch it. It's 100,000. It's 100,000. Not only that, it is one of the best ways to flip your money. A lot of people think that, oh yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put my money in the bank. Bank only give you about a 0.1% interest on your money annually. Right. You know how much life insurance can give you? 4.5% annually. Your money is just flipping in there, backflips. You know what I mean? So being able to give people that knowledge,
I need to talk to y'all.
Look, you know what I'm saying? Look, being able to open people's eyes to that knowledge is blissful. I love it. You know what I mean? I like being able to show people like, hey man, look, I know you thought it was like this, but it's really not. Check it out. You know what I mean? And then again, it's beneficial for your family. You know what I mean? Nobody, if you really love your loved ones, don't leave that burden on them. I mean, that's where it comes from. And it's not expensive. It's not expensive. A lot of people think it is. Yeah.
Now, do you work with a specific group?
Yeah, so currently I am with an agency. I would Lincoln Heritage right now. But I do help out, push people, even if it's not with my company. If you can't, if there's not a benefit with us, I give you the proper knowledge and I help you find the company that you're looking for. My job is
I'm working with somebody. I'm working with somebody, and I got like myself covered, my wife covered, and my kids. But I'm like, you know, because I saw a post on Instagram. It was like, yo, this is how you build generational wealth through life insurance. And I'm like, what? And he was like,
they didn't tell me that.
Yeah, it was like a trust or something you can buy in, you can borrow against it and all this other stuff. And I'm like, I don't know if I could do that with mine, but I know it's really cheap and it's like really high coverage. Like it's not terrible. You know what I'm saying? It's like 100 something. You know, for me and my wife, she got 100 something. My kids got 25. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't trying to get the numbers out, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
for sure.
So we gonna talk.
It's worth it.
It's worth it. It really is. It really is.
And I see even through title, you know, we see transactions in real estate. We actually had a transaction where somebody used their life insurance policy to lend money to somebody to buy a house off them. Stuff like that. Or you think about the aspect that we're talking generational wealth. That money that's being saved for the next generation can help them take care of that house that was left.
Wow.
You know, you connect it all. People don't really, they think the grass ain't green over there in this world because white people made it seem like it's not.
It's just the education.
Well, I won't even say it is. Don't say it is because it ain't. It's hard to get this knowledge. It takes time.
It's not,
but the soil's good.
Right.
The soil's good. We just got to get in there and get the grass.
Right. You know, that's real. So Meleak, what about you in terms of like real estate? What are some things that you feel like are common misconceptions in terms of what people think about real estate?
I'll start right with credit. Credit is a huge factor of real estate. What Jay-Z say? How do Jewish people get all the land in America?
Credit. Listen, that's why I've been building the shit out of my credit, man. I ain't gonna tell you where I'm at, but I'm almost there. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, we don't really. That's another aspect of, you know, understanding how to utilize these tools the right way. Where we've been taught over the years to be afraid of credit, or not afraid of it. Oh, build it, good credit. But then what you doing with it? Like that, put that money in the bank or put it with the life insurance where you get more. Use your credit to invest or just have a good score. That rhymed. I ain't mean it to.
That was hard. I got bars.
I'm a plug too. That's another interview. But credit is seriously something that can take you very far in the real estate industry. I myself personally, with my mother and other partners, you know, I'm doing deals in the Hamptons in New York. I didn't expect that. I've only been out of college in 3 years.
Oh wow!
So I'm at a point where I'm like surpassed. I'm also renovating 4 projects right now. So it's like I didn't think I could do these things until I realized how to utilize my credit the right way. When I learned how to build my credit and buy houses and, you know, make sure that I could refinance a house and realizing the equity in homes, you know, that's really where we start in our communities when we talk about the marginalized aspect of it. We're oversought because we don't know. We're undereducated. We don't know that grandma's sitting in that $80,000 house that can help spark my rap career if I take care of that house for her. She ain't gonna be mad if I use 20,000 if I made the house nice, and she got her garden in the back, you know. So that's where I start with everybody. What's your credit? What's your aspirations? What do you want to do in this world? Other than that, I feel like real estate itself is like it's an entity outside of people. Like, oh, I'm not in. I've heard people. I had a conversation with someone who said I'm not in real estate, and then continued to say, oh, I've sold this house, I bought this house, I rented this house out because I wasn't living there. I moved here, I managed this house I'm like, but you're not in real estate. We don't realize what we're doing every day.
I have a question because I be confused sometimes. What's the difference between like a realtor and someone who does real estate investing?
So that's where there's many lanes of real estate, of course. So like when I tell people I'm entitled, nobody knows what that is.
Right. I've never heard that.
I was like
title, like the streaming service.
Right. I get it. They're like, all right, so car transfers.
Right. That's
similar house, but not car. But when we talk about realtors, you're talking about somebody who has a responsibility to either sell a home for you or find you the house that you want. That's it.
Okay.
Their job is to get out here and make sure you have the right knowledge, you have the right protection, your contracts are tight, you're not being taken advantage of, and that's their job. Not to secure the property's equity though for you, not make sure the property's free and clear. That's where title comes in. That's where we are. Once your realtor gets that contract, they send it to us.
Okay.
Once the lender is ready to lend you that money, they send us the title request and say, hey, check on this property, make sure there ain't no taxes or anything that we need to get off here before we lend this money.
Right.
That's where we come in as title.
That's dope.
When you talk about investors, that's somebody buying a house, either to flip it or hold it or be a landlord. You know, that's any type of.
Because I know a guy. I ain't gonna name no names, but he like buys them, they run down, they fix them up. But they magically do this with like little to no money, and I'm like, that's just confusing.
I got a lot of people that I see out in Pittsburgh get into it, and you know they just really start with their knowledge. You talk about like the crib flipper, Steve Long out here, and
okay, that's crazy. You said his name. That's exactly
I knew who
I was talking
about because he's the one out here everybody see.
I interviewed him too, by the way. I interviewed him.
That's good because Steve gets to it. You know, he makes sure that he's giving knowledge as he's elevating his own business, and that's really how he did it. He started with the knowledge to get to the money. Then he started with giving the education back while he elevates his own business.
That's beautiful.
And
that's the way you should do it.
Exactly. You give back that knowledge because the people who come up under you are now going to help support your business.
Right.
Because now you work together. All right, let's buy a house together. I just taught you how to do it.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean? So and that's each one teach one.
That ladder method, man.
Exactly. So you know, there's a lot of different avenues of being an investor. You know what I mean? You have your wholesalers who kind of are finding buyers and sellers and making transactions happen. Deal brokers, pretty much.
Okay.
You have your investors who are flippers. We're getting a house beat up off the sheriff's sale or something, and we're going to renovate it and sell it. We got you got your holders who are landlords. They're like, all right, I want this house. I'm gonna put some money in it and make extra $600 on top of mortgage.
Residual, easy peasy. Yep.
Right. So you know, there's a lot of different lanes you could take. So as you get into real estate, that's really your job, is to figure out what you want to do and where you want to start, because you could do it all. Okay. You don't got to think like, oh, I can't. And that's what I was starting with. It's not something you're not touching. It's not something you got to have years of experience in. It's something that you leap into.
You just gotta have faith,
right?
And work ethic.
And work ethic.
A lot of people miss that point. They're like, I'm gonna just try this shit, and then they quit. You gotta when they fail. It's crazy.
And when you get into like trying to learn from people who know like ourselves, you know, now you have to come in with initiative though. That's one thing I learned out of my knowledge. Like when I got out of college in 2018, I went around to all the networking events, anybody I knew in the real estate world in Pittsburgh, and I went and sat with them, or I went to all these events and met people, because I needed to know what's going on in this market. I was in South Carolina before that. But what I learned is I have to come to them with knowledge. I can't come to them like, hey, what are y'all doing? How can I? No, I gotta be like, oh, so you do this and that. What does that mean? You see the difference in that?
Right. You're being inquisitive. You're not like asking. Right. Se. You know what I mean? Like
and they like to see that you already have.
You did something.
You got
kind of
you're intrigued.
Yeah. So I love that.
Jinx.
That's funny. But no, that's dope, man. But family, if you're just now tuning in, this is episode 112 of the Level Up Podcast. I got Terrek Ray and Meleak Potter in the building, chopping it up, man, giving out very, very valuable information. But guys, I wanted to, we were talking about work ethic. We were talking about, doing what it takes to get yourself to a point where you have enough knowledge to move forward. Can you talk about a time where you had to, think outside of the box in terms of like whether it's like making a sale or anything like that, or in terms of making sales and stuff like that, or just doing what you do? When was a time where you had to think outside of the box, or you had to bounce back from a major failure?
That is a good one.
I know. Thank you. No, I'm just kidding.
As far as in bounce back, I definitely had a mean situation I had to come back from.
Mm.
So it definitely starts with staying driven.
Mm.
I mean, you got to stay driven. I mean, stay driven and stay committed to the process. Don't matter what the situation may be. My situation at the time was I was a store manager of a energy company called NRG, and I was doing pretty well for myself there. And on my birthday, I went to Miami for a week for a vacation. I got fired on my vacation.
Oh, that's the worst.
Right before I got back to Pittsburgh.
That's the
Couldn't
worst.
figure out the situation, but they let me go. Now,
and he blew that whole check.
Ooh,
You
right,
know,
right,
you
right.
know I did.
You know
You said you was in Miami.
I was
oh,
like,
yeah.
for a week. I was supposed to only stay for 3 days. It turned into 7. I don't know how.
the next day.
Right, man. Look, come back, and I'm like, man, what am I going to do? I met somebody who was doing the life insurance stuff, and I had to figure something out. So that loss right there was big for me because I had that steady money coming in. Yeah, I mean, even though it was hourly, I still had my commission. It was cool. Right. But I took my time and I said, you know what? If I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it right. I took time off and I studied. I got my life insurance license. Right? Took me 2 times to pass the test, but I passed it. I mean, once I got it, once you get it, you're licensed for 3 years. Right. You don't got to take no more tests. You just got to pay for a renewal.
Okay, but after the 3 years is up. Okay.
And that's just like having a CDLs. You're never going to be broke.
Right.
That was the best investment.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like literally once I did that and I jumped into the life insurance field, honestly, I jumped in right after my birthday, June. From June to the rest of the year, $100,000.
Wow.
All off of just life insurance.
Wow.
The best decision I ever made.
Yeah, you a real hustler, man. You have some real hustlers, man.
Right.
I just thought
amazing, bro. Like,
yeah, I might have to switch my profession. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I mean, it's a slow build. This is one of those slow build situations. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna hit. It's gonna hit. What about you, Meleak? What were some shortcomings or just obstacles that you faced that you had to bounce back from?
I would say my first major obstacle came in college. And this ain't a story many people know, but I went to Slippery Rock University and through a lot of extracurricular activity and fun.
I heard Slippy Rock be fun.
Yeah, I think we had something to do with that. Me and my friends Yeah, but I had to change courses. I had to leave school. I had to figure out what was next. And I had to evaluate myself. Right. I really had to look in the mirror and say, all right, if people take it. One thing I really hold tight in life, I tell my little brother this, I'm really big on control of self. And if I can control myself in the situation, in any aspect, sometimes it's making that left instead of that right. It's really sometimes that simple, but I want to have that control. I made that decision. Right. And that's how I looked at school and stuff. I'm like, all right, I got to get my control back. Right. I sat down. By the next, I got kicked out 2 days after the semester ended. Oh, wow. Long story that right. But by that next semester, I was in CCAC. Okay. By the semester in the winter, I was down in South Carolina going to school. Nice. So that was one of my first obstacles. Was like, yo, I ain't never had somebody just take what I was in and just be like, no, you ain't here no more. Damn. So then I had to pick up and say, what's next? But then when you talk about setbacks and just thinking outside of the box and going forward, I would say that's found in roti thinking. Starting a nonprofit, I used to walk around like I want a nonprofit. Didn't know anything about it. I was like, I want to get there. Start researching, doing all, studying, talking to people about it. I'm like, okay, it's just looking doable. Then I'm pulling people together and we're making events happen. Our first event was 200 people signing up, 100 showing up. Yeah, wow. First event. That's nice. And that was here in Pittsburgh. Yep, right in Bakery Square. Yeah. Sweet. Oh, Bakery Square. It was in Google Spaces. Well, we hooked it up. I came together with people like Steve Long and some other people. We created this push for realty thinking that drew everybody in because people are out here looking for these resources. They're looking for people to teach them about these things. And that's what we're pushing off of. But throughout that process, we started going forward and other people had to take on other roles and diverse. Is it diverse? I don't know. With diverge, we had to separate ways and everybody started to build their own empires, which is great. I still support each one of them and what they do because we all have the same mentality about what people need to know and what we're doing. But going forward, it's like, okay, what do I do now? How do we keep this going? We don't want it to, we saw the momentum. What do I have to do once again to get this in control again? what do I need to do to make this where somebody can come in and they don't have to figure out what their role is? I can help them know what it is.
Yep.
So that's where I've been. I've been meeting with lawyers. I've been talking with other professionals, business consulting. You know, I'm paying that hour and 50
Oh,
rate.
wow.
Because I need to know.
Listen,
Yeah,
I need to know.
If it's worth it, it's worth it. You know.
Right.
No, I love that, man. I love the piece about control. I think that, like, and I'll be transparent, bro. I struggle with it even to this day. You know, just like making better decisions, like not doing this, not doing that, and like keeping myself in the lane that I know I need to be where I want to be, right?
Right.
And so I think that's a really important piece. Is like once you can make that step for yourself, it's like there's nothing you can't accomplish. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like the only thing we can control is our thoughts, actions, and you know what I mean? Like that's it, you know. And so, but anyway, we got a question from the audience. You know who? My wife. And family, if you do have any questions for our good brothers on the show, please feel free to comment. We are on Facebook Live and YouTube Live right now. So feel free to comment. I'm bouncing back between both apps. So we will answer your questions. But the question is, damn, this is long. All right, for our people who are getting into investing in real estate, what are some key areas we should focus on in reference to buying back our neighborhoods and creating our own Black Wall Street? Whoa, girl. What steps are necessary? Where should we start? What's on our checklist? Okay, that's the same question 3 times. Okay.
So I'm going to get in that one. I like it. It's a question that is very hard and I get almost every day. I get calls. People tell me, I want to get into real estate. I'm like, all right, let's break this down.
Right.
But when you're talking about your community, you know your community. And the thing you don't know is real estate. So don't focus so much on where and what part and where should I, you know, like how do I get my community together first? Focus on learning real estate first. Focus on saying, okay, let me do this myself. And that's how I took it on. Right. I wanted, before I really teach people how to renovate a house, I want to renovate a house.
You got it. Right.
So, and then when you're getting in and starting that, what you do is you want to look for a Steve Long or a Meleak Potter. You need a mentor of somebody who can walk you through the ins and outs. Or you have to find that, you know, sometimes we don't realize our friends and family are in real estate. Your friends know how to build a house and you don't even know it.
Right.
They're working for a company that, you know, y'all two could be collabing to make money, but they're over there working that, you know, 9 to 5 or whatever, that labor job. Right. When we should really be buying a house together. And that's where you look at it. Surround yourself and find those people that are interested with you. Start studying together. Start talking to the same people together or multiple people. You know, me and Steve will sit down with as a unit and talk to you. I know Steve's cool with that. You know, we'll sit down and be like, all right, you can pick both of our brands because there's stuff Steve don't know. Right. And that, I mean, Steve does know that I don't know, and there's stuff I might know that he don't know. So take that time to cultivate those relationships. That's where I started, relationships. I had to know everybody in each aspect. I started breaking it down. One of my old sayings is, you kind of mentioned thinking outside the box. I was always like, I don't want to know what's inside the box. I don't want to know what's outside the box so much. What is this box and what's it made of?
That's a good ass question. What is the box? What is the box?
That's something I go around.
That's that question.
Right. That's some deep shit right there. He just went meta on me. He said, "What is the box? The Matrix." Listen, crazy. That's the quote of the week right there.
Man, but that's definitely where I learned how to that. Wow, why is that word in my head? Right. That's how I learned how to break down real estate and really say, okay, what are these parts? What are these moving parts? As I learned about my title company, creating it with my mother and helping me get into these things and the things I knew before. I worked for my uncle's title company for 8 years.
Right. Again, going back to that experience.
Right. So exactly. And like you say, entrepreneurs, we out here learning these different things.
It's like, hey, how many jobs you Jamaican, bro?
Like, look, I had 3 jobs in South Carolina.
So many jobs.
So many, bro. So many. Well, what about Terrek? What about you? Like, what are and thinking about that question she asked, if you just flip what she's talking about when it comes to utilizing life insurance to kind of shorten that gap when it comes to generational wealth with our people. Like,
oh man, if I'm it's so crazy because I want to say, like, there's a lot of things that can change the way we live, but it's so crazy that one thing alone can change the way we live.
Right.
Like, it's amazing. You got to think, let's just think on the other spectrum of the street here, with let's just say John. John and his kids. John great granddad left $80,000 policy behind. How many of our grandfathers or grandmothers are leaving $80,000 policies behind?
Right.
What that did for John's kids was give him a head start.
Right.
Man, we already start behind. We need all the help we can get.
Right.
And having that ability to have that entity drop down generations, it really can change your family after you.
Right.
They won't live the same.
Right.
Like that's a guarantee.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I just feel like when it comes back to that bam back the block, it could start there. You know what I mean? Like you have somebody who jump in and he just got hit with an inheritance of 50,000. He's jumping into real estate.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, like
investment capital right there.
Because when you get that money, you got to do something with it. It's not, you don't want it just to sit there. So it opens up that third eye that we all need to open up as far as in that, what can I invest in?
Right.
Or what can I change?
Make your dollars make dollars.
You know what I mean? Make them make dollars. Yeah. So what impact? You know what I mean? So I feel like it's definitely a necessity. You know what I mean? I just wish that we can get people more on board with feeling as passionate about it as I do. That's kind of my journey right now.
So if somebody is not passionate, but somebody's interested, like, yo, this shit sound great. What's like the first step for them?
First step, if you want to even jump into this field, is to study for your test. So you'll jump on a website called Excel Solutions. Whenever you jump on there, you'll have the ability to actually take a course, a 12-chapter course for life insurance. You pass that course, and then you're able to take the state exam. Once you pass the course, which will probably be a couple hundred questions, they'll give you a couple little simulations, things like that. You have the ability to hold on to your certificate for a whole year. So you have a whole year to pass.
Did you say a couple hundred questions?
Oh yeah, there's
good luck.
Yeah. There's like, I mean, you only sit like 200. It's only 200.
Right. It's only 200.
But yeah, it's worth it.
Right.
You know what I mean, it's worth it. The reason I say now, if this is a perfect thing for the youngins, if you're right out of high school or in college and you don't really have a lot of financial responsibility and time is of the essence as far as, and that's all you have, life insurance is the best thing to jump into. I mean, right now I'm literally eyewitnessing 19-year-olds to 22-year-olds with over $600,000 in their bank account. I'm talking about running it up. Fresh out.
Good
like,
Lord, I need to change my profession.
I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, I mean, a couple of them are from Pittsburgh that moved to Florida, and are living that lifestyle now. I mean, like, but it can really change your life, and I just hope people can see that. Hopefully, I can show a little bit more in my journey. You know what I mean? For sure.
So, like, if now, let's say I'm a midlife woman.
Okay.
I got grandkids.
Right.
Okay, I'm good. Health is good. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? But I don't have life insurance.
On yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
Where do I start there?
So you would start with, honestly, I would honestly look at anybody who you know who possibly may have a policy. So you reach out to another sibling. Hey, do you got life insurance? Or you know anybody who's dealing with it? That would be the best way to go about it. Because you could do that too. Facebook. I'm all over it.
I need. I'm like, yo, where can I get and there was comments. I'm like, man, this is great.
Everybody tag Terrek when y'all see those questions.
Throw me up in there. But I'd rather be able to talk to somebody a little bit more personable than me calling a company and feeling like I'm just being sold. Right. You know what I mean? So I would go that way, and hopefully that person that you do get in touch with is somebody who's just trying to help. Because there's a lot of money to be made in life insurance. You know what I mean? So
I remember I had a guy. I was with Liberty. What is it? Liberty Mutual.
Yeah, Liberty Mutual's cool.
Yeah, but like, he was just like, yeah, bro. It was, begging to have a meeting. We have a meeting. I signed up. I'm like, whatever. And the company I'm with now, they're like, bro, you couldn't even do nothing with this one. And they're like, this isn't whole. This is like, it was something else.
There's 46 different types of policies.
Yeah, he was like, you can't do shit. Like, bro, like, and it was term. I think it was called term. Like, he was like, you can't, And then I was only covered for like, it was like not even 50. It was slow, but and my bill was crazy. what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't crazy, but for the time, what I was making at the time, it was crazy. But shop under and learn about it, because it's definitely. I didn't realize there were so many types and like different things you can do, and I didn't know I could take things out on my family, family member. I'm like, oh shit, add it to the same bill, bro. And I'll be transparent. It's under $100 a month.
Oh yes.
I'm like, bro, like.
It's not expensive.
Right.
I can definitely say life insurance, honestly, is bought with your age and your health. The younger you are, the cheaper it is. The older you get, the more expensive it's going to be.
Right.
I mean, not even want to talk about my dad's business, but I'm trying to get him to get things taken care of. He got a policy through work, and I don't knock anybody's policy through their job. A lot of people think that's enough.
Yeah. And sometimes it's the credible thing too. It's like, well, it's through my job. It's credible, right?
Yeah,
right. You know what I mean?
It's not always It's not always the best,
right?
So with whole life, so you got to look at it on a business standpoint, right? If I'm a big company and I got 100,000 employees, right, and I want to put a policy out on my employees, it's not going to be a whole life policy. I'm gonna go bankrupt,
right?
You know what I mean? Like 100,000 here, 100,000 there. You above that, that's 200,000 I got to take out of my company, and pay. Damn. So what they're going to do is something called a universal policy or a group policy, right? So if I have $1 million group policy on 100,000 employees, you only get a fraction of that million. So you'll do $1 million divided by that 100,000, and that's what you get. What is that, right? You know what I mean? So it's really not the best thing. A lot of people think that, oh, I'm covered just because I. Look into it. If you really believe that it's really good for you, do your research on it. You know what I mean? I don't say not have it, but I tell people you always want to have something that's outside of your job.
Right.
Even though you got your job's insurance, you want to have that other product.
Just in case. Yeah.
Because that one's going to stay with you.
Yeah.
Your job's only covering until you 60. No, not until 65, until you stop working. Right. When you retire, it's done.
Or if they fire your ass.
It's gone.
I got fired from a job where I had all the types of benefits. Yeah. And I'm like, damn.
As soon as you leave, it's gone.
I'm fired. Oh my gosh. It was terrible. Yeah. I don't want to think about that moment. So I got another comment or question from the audience. This is from Charles Brown. It says, how can realty thinking you spelled that wrong. How can realty thinking help the new generation of buyers and sellers earn wealth in a competitive market like the east side of Pittsburgh? That's a good ass question. Thank you, Charles. Great question. Good question.
He put me on the spot. Charles works with realty thinking. If you need to clean out, you need any type of real estate, something help when you talk about this labor or contracting, you contact Charles Brown and check him out in those comments and get to him. But to answer his question, where realty thinking takes a different stance on talking about equity in competitive markets is we try to go after properties with a strategic mentality towards the blight. We don't want to go after houses that are, people basically living in still so much. We don't go after, we want to teach people how to go after these houses that, people from California are bidding on. That, that those type of houses, they're usually trying to do something where you're going to be outbid, especially if you're trying to get in initially. I like to start with all the people who are getting into real estate. I start teaching about the sheriff sale. And I work with people like Salome Bay, who does credit repair through her company called Credit Power LLC. They do a lot of education on the aspect of sheriff sales, and we do a course. I teach title. We have lenders on there. We have realtors on there, and we're teaching about real estate and really giving people to come to as resources. And at that aspect, now we say sheriff sale. Okay, cool. Now I'm getting a house for a low amount. And then now I'm on to the next level of, okay, how do I renovate this house? So you can take that first piece of saying, I have equity. And that's really where you start when you use the word equity. You have to understand equity in homes because that's the money in the home. Right. So when you understand, all right, the sheriff sale is going to sheriff sale, they got to a point where the bank or whoever got the taxes owed, and they're like, you know what, we want our money. We're taking this house off them. We're selling it to whoever who's going to pay this money. Right. Once they get to that point, that equity just increased. Now the amount they will take for that property is typical. Now it's a bidding war, so it could reach places where that equity starts being lost, and that's when you get out that bid. But in the beginning, if you can get a good bid, you found the right house, you're at that point of saying, all right, I just got a credit for $10,000, that's worth $100,000. Right, that's $90,000 in equity. You put $40,000 into that house to get it up and running, you still got $40,000 in equity. That sounded wrong. Don't take that bath. This is
That's all right.
Oh, that was right.
was it?
Yeah, you good.
Okay. It sounded
80,000.
right.
Plus
Yes.
your 10, 90.
Right.
Good.
Yep.
Yeah, we there.
But
We there.
look, I don't like saying wrong math.
No,
Look, I
you
don't like
cool.
typos. I'm gonna send a little asterisk with it. Look. But that's the point. You want to start with equity. So another aspect is there's laws out here that you can use, and you can contact people like Realty Thinking or certain lawyers that know specific laws. I'm not going to get into them because people start trying to use these laws the wrong way. But if you really want to help your community, there's laws that can help you to take over properties that are blighted and renovate them without being the owner. The owner's liable for those taxes and stuff still. They're still the owner, but you have all the freedom of the owners. So you can get a loan out, you can renovate it, you can rent it out, you can do whatever under this law.
Okay.
So
now, I don't mean to dive, but
go ahead.
I got questions now.
Go ahead.
So now, say there's a property on my street, hypothetical. You know, I don't know where I live at, but let's say it's a property, and I'm like, this John's ugly as heck. Ain't nobody in there. I want that. I want to try to fix it up. There's a law where I can have those freedoms without having to be responsible for the taxes, because the owner still has responsibility for that. But like, what if the owner? I'm assuming is the owner dead?
No, they don't have to.
Okay, they don't have. Okay.
It's better if they are.
Yeah,
the worst way, best way.
Yes, you mean that with the
With
utmost
best
respect.
intentions.
So much love.
Somebody got to
So much love.
Right.
But like, I guess my question is like, what happens if, let's say, Terrek's the owner and he's like, "Yo, son, that's my house."
The courts gave you that power. It's a law. They can't. They better go talk to the courts.
What if he's like, "I paid the taxes"?
That's not a. It's not
still,
a tax thing. It's the blight.
Oh,
it's the fact that it's abandoned and there's all them that blunt wrappers on the
right,
side.
and all the
windows
shit that's
busted
making
out.
the community.
People
Okay,
in there.
So that I feel like that kind of almost also answers my wife's first question, like of how to get your communities back. Like that's like a really powerful tool, or that we could be using.
Yeah, right.
It's
just something
realty
thinking is looking heavily. We actually spoke to the lawyer who does the most of this law and this petition. He does them all. When I started studying this, I was taught by one of my mentors, and I started studying this. His name was on everything.
Oh wow!
So I called him, went with a couple of my partners. We sat with him for an hour and a half. He taught us everything about it, and I printed the legislation out and I studied it.
Right.
So after realizing how lucrative it is, it fits in place with other things we're doing in Realty Thinking with our programs and how we want to teach people and how we want to help the community. And right now, nobody like us is doing it. Nobody who lives in these communities is doing it.
Right.
So it's something we really want to get into, and we want to start telling people, listen, you have a house on your block that you want to take over and you want to make sure that we can get it renovated or whatever and make it look better. Let's figure it out. Come talk to us.
I love it. I love it, guys. Woo. It is almost that time, but I have one more question before I ask my final question. And family, if you want to get one question in, please post a comment now. I'm gonna check YouTube real quick. All right. Darn it. I'm not good with this technology stuff, man. I'm like, am I getting old? What's happening? So in terms of like your personal goals, like where you guys see yourselves, in what you're doing, I know the main goal is like to help as many people as possible, right? But where do you guys see yourselves as entrepreneurs in the next 5 years? Like, what's that 5-year, what's that version of yourself look like in your own words?
Man, prosperous.
I shaded that.
I definitely could say with my commitment as far as in my process of where I believe I'm going to be going in the next 5 years, especially with the partnership that I have now with Realty Thinking, there's no ceiling. That's how I feel. It's just about what we going to tackle. I think honestly, we're going to have a couple of properties under our belt. Hopefully, I'm gonna be at least 50,000 in residual. That's what I'm looking for. But I definitely can say that I can't wait. Being that I partnered up with his company here, what I'm able to bring to their table is, and vice versa. I just the compatibility is kind of unique, and I feel like we definitely going to be somewhere crazy in the future for sure. See his mission with helping people as far as in the home ownerships and things like that. Once we get you into the house, it's gonna be game on.
Right.
I'm putting some solar panels on that
Right.
thing.
Period. I forgot you do the solar. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Solar
so,
panels.
So we mesh in that area.
Yeah.
Besides that, we're showing people the residual wealth with having life insurance for that family.
Right.
And then I don't know if we want to talk about it, but I know we're projecting. I don't know if ACN is something that we're going to be jumping into in the future, but it's something talked about, not too much jumped on yet. But
explain ACN for.
Yeah, I don't know what I don't know what that is.
Okay, so ACN, it's a unique company. It's about like I believe they changed the price, but it used to be about like $400 to start out with the company. But how it will work is you'll get a website, right? And on your website, what you're able to put on there is pretty much everyday usage of what people use. So you pay your phone bill. I can say, hey, bro, pay your phone bill on my website, right? I get you 4 other people to do it. Now my phone bill's free. I get same thing, light bill. I get you and 4 other people to pay their light bill on my website. My light bill's free. Same thing with my gas bill. So these bills that we have to pay,
right?
You know what I mean? There's ways to make sure you don't have to pay them. So now we get you into this home. I got your light bills free. I got your gas bill free. I got your solar panels because now you're making money off your solar.
Right.
If you don't know, you get a 20%, 26% tax credit for having solar panels. So when your system's $40,000, you're looking at a $12,000 tax credit that you'll get on income tax next year. Oh, so they give you money for it. It's a beautiful thing. But having that together, like I said, that's meshing those things in line. You having that new home is just going to be just all profit. Everything you make is all for your family. You don't got to worry about nothing except buying food and travel. We try and get people to that stuff.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a couple sluts now.
That's what we're looking at. We're looking to get there.
Honestly, yeah, that's the course.
That's the course for sure.
When I think of my 5 year though, it's crazy. I'm actually coming up on year 23. I'm coming up on year 3 in my 5-year plan that I started out of college.
Okay.
And so in the next 2 years, which I would say in the next 5 years, I'll be kind of in that same realm of what I'm doing. I'm looking at being at a point where everything I have, my company, I have about 3 companies. All of them are running on their own. I can spend more time with the nonprofit and teaching and also educating myself because I'm talking to my contractors like, yeah, well, teach me how to put that 2x4.
Right.
Like I want to know it all. So just getting myself to a point where I could be more hands-on, more in the field, travel, learn more, because that's where it starts. When we get out here to these, now that, the world's kind of a little more open, hopefully it stays this way. We start going to these events and these conferences where we're learning about what these cities that are a little more advanced than Pittsburgh are doing. So we could bring it back. Like I said about the 3D printing homes and stuff like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
There's also
I forgot about that already.
There's also what's it called? Zero carbon positive energy homes that I was introduced to in Kansas City. These homes literally create energy. They have their own irrigation system and they create the energy that can get put into a backpack that you can take with you and charge your car
Solar
or charge. It's crazy.
I love that. That's
So this type of and this is where Terrek and I we partner on that innovative side of Terrek's. He pays attention to that stuff, and I give him info sometimes to research because that's where we get to the next level. We're staying behind because technology is slower. And it's crazy because Pittsburgh is a technology hub in a lot of places. In a lot of areas, not for us though.
Right.
Not for us. But this is, as a nonprofit, we're 501c3 certified. We're tax exempt through the IRS. I spent a lot of time getting all that done, researching so that we could walk up to people like Carnegie Mellon and say, listen, we need help. We have programs that we're trying to I saw something they were asking for a deconstruction program in a city council meeting, talking about a better way to tear down homes. We're working on that.
Okay.
I'm working with my contractor who's been in the game in the field 40 years. He's like when you talk about somebody in their lane, been an entrepreneur, worked paint, he's a carpenter. He knows how to do the plumbing. He knows how to do everything and been around and long enough to see these type of, and that's where we keep that innovative thinking. As he's working on something, he's like, man, what if I did this? What if I did that?
Right.
Or what if we had a tool that did this? And we continue to try to find ways to bring that to Pittsburgh because that's where we're not focusing on Wilkinsburg's, Homewoods, Lincoln's. We're not focusing on these places with that type of mindset.
Right. And those places, man, because like my wife's family, they've been the house that we live in Homewood, 5 generations, I want to say. And then like I saw a home video of how beautiful Homewood used to be.
Oh,
because I'm not originally from Pittsburgh. I'm from Buffalo. So like I was like, yo, it was gorgeous, dog. It was thriving.
It was a black.
And I was like, bro, we dog. So I know that's one of her goals, you know what I'm saying, being from there,
right,
and all that. So it's amazing, man. You guys really dropped a lot of jewels today. Thank you so much, really. Before y'all leave, I'd love to get a business card from both of you if you have one.
Yeah.
If you don't, we print them here at Level Up Studios. Well, we don't have a printer, but we can
see y'all there.
Yeah, we do stuff. You know what I'm saying? But before I get to my very last question, is there anything that maybe I didn't ask or that you didn't get a chance to mention that you'd like to mention?
Definitely. I just had a little epiphany. You see when I was like, yeah. So I wanted to touch in on the solar. Now I know that I kind of talked about how I can supply solar panels, put them on your house and things like that, no cost. But also different ways to get things done for no money down. I know a lot of people, whenever you try to get like a roof on your home, it may be $3,000 down or $5,000 down, depending on the type of roof. Well, what solar is giving out, especially if you're in a Duquesne Light area, we actually can put a new roof on your home for you at no cost. You don't, as long as credit, of course, is over a 600, you can get a new roof at no cost at all.
Oh, wow.
Which will help you get to that 600 if we have to.
Yes, that's another way we do things. So, but I like that because I come through the neighborhoods and I see a lot of roofs that need redone. And I know it's always like, dang, I don't got the money to do it. But one thing we have to pay is our light bill, and a lot of people pay that light bill. Now, if I tell you that if we get rid of this light bill at 200 and give you solar panels to drop it down to 146, add your roof, and now you're looking at 170, saving $30 a month with a new roof.
Yep, because that not having that new roof is going to cause other damage down the line anyway.
For sure. It's just ways to utilize different programs to get things for yourself that you don't have to necessarily throw down a whole bunch of money.
Right.
So yeah, definitely look into that if anybody's looking to do any home improvement, for sure. And that's a great thing that we use on the real estate side too, when it comes to buying homes and wanting to get a new roof on there. That helps up that market value on a home up 40,000, 50,000. So we help increase that property value as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of roofs, I used to do roofing back in the day too. That was another job. Hell no. I started off as I was the shingle pickup guy at first. And I had to carry the joints up the ladder and then drop them. I didn't get to do none of the fun stuff. They're like, yeah, just shovel those into that dumpster, bro. I'm like, fam, I'm never doing this again. All right, man. Was there anything that you didn't get a chance to speak on that?
Not really. I want to plug my companies just so people know where to go to. But my title company, Pittsburgh Minority Real Estate Group. You can find us on Facebook or on Instagram. It's _PMRGPGH. Or Realty Thinking. You can find on Facebook or Instagram as well. We're working on marketing, getting everything together. 2022, you'll have a lot more information and a lot more projects and see what we're working on. For the title company, when I said it earlier, I'm gonna say it again. When you get to that point and your realtor finds that house and that contract, you can say, it's actually law in Pennsylvania, okay, I want to use PMRG as my title company. People don't know that. You don't know what a title company is, so you wouldn't know to ask. So, or your lender, you go refinance your house or you're getting a loan. Hey, I got a title company I want to use. It's law in PA that as the buyer, you have that right to say you want to use us. So we're here to help. We're a small company, family ran. We want to work with people, individuals, and teach you as you go through the process what you're going through. And these are the things you wouldn't get from other title companies.
Yeah.
Love it. All right. Well, I'm going to get to my last question, most important question. Like I was telling you guys earlier, we're all about inspiring young people. That's youth, teens, young adults, doesn't matter. And older people too. But, if there was anybody out there, it's blowing me up right now. If there's anyone out there, who might want to get into your field or, maybe they're struggling to figure out what their path is, what advice would you give to them?
As far as struggling with your path, man, that's just honestly, do what you love. That's the best advice. I love helping people, and I had to just figure out what avenue made me feel good about helping someone, knowing that I can change the aspect of your children's lives just by being able to have a conversation with you is impactful enough. I don't even have to give you a policy, but maybe I opened your eyes to realize that that's something that's necessary.
Right.
So yeah, stay with what you love to do. Figure out something that surrounds that and dive into it. That's the best advice I can give to someone as far as finding their path. And God first. Besides that, if you were to jump into this field or just any of the fields that I do, life insurance or solar, you would look for a company that I'm with. It's called Palmetto. You able to search them right online. Even if you are not able to do that, you can find me on Facebook, Terrek Ray. Shoot me an email off of there if you can, and I can help you or direct you to whatever you're looking for. But yeah, I think that would pretty much be it for that.
Love it.
Yeah, definitely.
Slow snaps.
Yes.
Brother Meleak.
I mean, I guess I would just elaborate on that. I mean, it's 100% where it starts. The elaborations, I would say network.
Yeah,
Talk to people.
Yes.
Talk to people about what you're doing, what you like to do, like Terrek said. But when you talk about what you like to do, really get down to skills.
Yeah.
Learn what skills are in the workforce and start saying, "Oh, I'm good at that." You know, I actually was working with an architect. We were talking. He was like, I got into architecture because I like to draw, I like to build things, and I like math. He came up with his career. Also, I always tell people when you're looking at an industry, deep dive Google. See what's in that industry. I'll tell you what we need as a people, and you can look this up. We need appraisers. We need people to go look at these properties and say this property is this value. We are being attacked right now.
Yes.
By appraisers. I don't know if you know about redlining and the history of real estate with Black people, but they're at a point now where people are taking down their family photos and erasing themselves from their own homes to get an extra $500,000 on their appraisal.
Wow.
Yes. Definitely seen that.
We're being attacked, but if they pictures is up, they wouldn't have had that extra equity. That's the key word in real estate. That extra equity is not there anymore. Now their loan is going to be a lot lower than it was supposed to be.
Right.
And if you're an investor and you're trying to flip houses and stuff, now your numbers is off. I expected to sell this house for this much, but they appraised it for $50,000 less, and it's only because of your skin.
Yeah,
it's real.
It's real.
So get back to the main. Whatever your skill sets are, whatever makes you happy, whatever you feel joy doing, find the monetary value in it, and how other people are making money with those skills.
Yes,
love it, guys. Thank you so much again. Dropped so many jewels. Before we get off, one last time, if the people want to contact you, you can just give them all your social media handles, websites, whatever. One more time, go ahead.
Okay, you can find me on Facebook at Terrek Ray, TERREK space RAY. You can also look at me on IG at it's Tuck underscore. So ITSTUCK underscore.
Yeah. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook. Type it in my name. It's MELEAK, Meleak, and then last name Potter, like Harry. Nice and easy.
Like Harry.
Through my Instagram and my bio, you can find my other companies and some other fun pages I got. And then on Facebook, anything, message me. Best contact I would say is Instagram, but if I'll get to you on Facebook too.
Either way,
I'm still getting it on Facebook.
Yes,
I see Facebook's the business place.
Yeah, it is. All right, well, family. Of course, you can follow your boy Mario Quinn at The Mind of Quinn on all social media platforms. Of course, please follow Level Up Studios at Level Up PGH, and of course, leveluppgh.com. Also, I'm about to do a product plug. We selling hats. We got these dope dad hats here with the mushroom with the turban on it. We're selling those for $30, or you can get a hat and a t-shirt for just $40 now until the end of the year. So stop by Level Up Studios for that. Also, we got charcuterie boards. If you don't know what that is, that's basically like a cheese board. Okay, we got one with the Level Up Apex logo on the front and another with the mushroom logo, which is over there, which I can't reach, so I'm not going to worry about it. But if you're interested in those are handmade by my boy Josh Inklovich, hand carved, painted, burned, all that good stuff. It is foodware safe, not dishwasher safe. Do not put that in the dishwasher. Wash that by hand. But we're selling those for $75 from now until I want to say the 13th. So if you want to get dope gift for family members, especially someone who's into cooking, hit me up immediately. We're taking orders right now. But family, we love you. I appreciate you. This has been episode 112 of the Level Up Podcast. Your boy Mario Quinn, my boy Terrek, and my boy Meleak. We out. Peace.